Following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 25th Chapter, text number 44, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on December 12th, 1974, in Bombay, India.
Therefore, persons whose minds are fixed on the Lord engage in intensive practice of devotional service. That is the only means for attainment of the final perfection of life.
एतावानेव लोकेस्मिन् पुंसां निःश्रेयसोदया तीव्रेण भक्तियोगेन मनो मज्जत्पितं स्थिरम्. This is the conclusion of Bhakti Yoga. Kapil Dev has explained Bhakti Yoga. In the last verse, he has discussed Jnana Vairagya Yuktena Bhakti Yogena. Bhakti Yoga is not the business of the foolish or ignorant. One who is advanced in Jnana Vairagya, knowledge and renunciation. Another name of Bhakti Yoga is renunciation. Vairagya Vidya. Bhakti Yoga means the education of renouncement. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he explained Bhakti Yoga, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam. Yes. The Bhakti Yoga begins when we accept Krishna's instruction, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Mamekam Saranam. We have to renounce all nonsense engagement. That is called Sarva Dharma. We have accepted everything as dharma, samsara dharma, grihastha dharma, raja dharma, samajik dharma. There are so many we have created, and we are still going on. Dharma means function, characteristic. So we are planning one after another various plans to be very happy in this material world. But they will not make us happy, that's a fact, because this place is certified by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Dukkhalam Asasat. This is a place for misery. This material world is a place for misery. This body is meant for suffering miseries. And the land is meant for suffering miseries. That we do not understand. But we are placed in a miserable condition. All round, that is material life. Dukkhalam asarta. But we have got attachment for this material happiness. Even it is dukkhalam, it is very much painful, miserable, and we are making plans how to become happy here. This is called struggle for existence. It is going on perpetual. We are making some plan to be happy, and it is dismantled by the laws of nature. You study the whole history of the world, it is simply struggling. We are making some plan to be out of miserable condition, but it is causing another miserable condition. Therefore it is called Dvaivijjesa Gunamai Mama Maya Durutta. This is Maya. We are simply planning to overcome some problem, some difficulties, but it is becoming more difficult. This is the fact. Therefore, our determination should be to renounce this association of this world. That is called mukti. Renounce this material association and come to the spiritual platform. Because we are spirit soul. Our real place is spiritual platform. Our activities should be on the spiritual platform. Then we'll be happy. The same example as I have given many times, that we are animals of the land. So if you are put into the water, then however expert swimmer I may be or you may be, it is simply struggle for existence. There cannot be any happiness in the water. But if you are taken out of the water and put again into the land, then you will get relief. So that is the position. We have come to this material world for sense gratification. The more expertly we make plan for our sense gratification, it will never be successful. So, we have to come out of this material activities and act on the platform of spiritual life. That will make us. Therefore it is said, Etavaneva lokasmin pungsang nisreso udaya. Udaya means rising, just like Sujyodaya. In the darkness, at night we are in the darkness. In the morning there will be Sujyodaya, and then there will be light. So, this is conclusion, that in this material world, we are simply struggling for existence with a hope, future hope, that we shall be happy by this plan, but it will never be possible. Simply, it will be bewildered, just like the animal goes to the desert and he sees mirage, a shadow of water in the desert. He is thirsty, he goes to the water, and the water goes again farther away. And he jumps over, in this way, being thirsty, and in the hot sand he dies. This is called Maya Marichika. Our struggle for existence is like that. We are thinking, let me go a little further, and we shall be happy. But actually, where is the water? There is no water in the desert. But those are less intelligent, like animals. They seek happiness here in this material world. Just like the animal running after water in the desert. Maya Marichika. So these attachments, this false attachment has to be given up. And that is possible when we engage ourselves in the Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga. Itarane malokasmin pungsang nisresa udaya tibrena Bhakti Yogena. Tibrena, and very seriously, not superficially. Tibrena Bhakti Yoga. Krishna wants to see that whether he has finished his all material desires. Then he is very much pleased. He says, Sarvadharman Parita. Sarvadharman means we have created so many dharmas. That is not dharma, that is dharma. We generally become so-called religious for artha, for money. Dharma, artha. Artha, money is required. Why? For sense gratification, kama. And when you are dissatisfied, then you want moksha. Therefore, we are actually busy with four kinds of activities: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And above this, when I go above this, then bhakti begins. That is the beginning of bhakti. That's wanted. Nishraya. Shreya. Shreya means ultimate good. There are two things, Preya and Shreya. Shreya means ultimate good. If you act in such a way that ultimately you actually become happy, that is called Shreya. And if you want immediately some happiness, never mind what it will be in future, that is called Preya. So, less intelligent person or children, they want Preya. They do not want Shreya. A child is playing whole day, he likes it. That is Preya. And if you want to send him to school to be educated, he doesn't like. That is Shreya. Ultimate good. So nobody is interested. Still, the Shastra gives us an instruction that you try for the Shreya. Don't be captivated by the Preya. Preya and Shreya. And this Shreya, the supreme Shreya is Bhakti Yoga. Therefore it is said that Itavaneva lokasmin pungsang nishreyasa udaya. Shreyasa and nishreyasa. Nishreyasa means ultimate. Nishreyasa udaya. As soon as you take to Krishna consciousness, then your ultimate good or ultimate perfection begins immediately. And this Bhakti Yoga means Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Bandhanam Dasam Sakkhamatma Nivedanam. These are the 9 different processes of Bhakti Yoga, of which the most important thing is Sravanam, hearing. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. And about whom? About Vishnu, not for anyone else. That is Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Everything Bhakti means devotional service, loving devotional service for Vishnu or Krishna. That is not any other service. That is not Bhakti. Bhakti, the word can be used only in relationship with the Supreme Personality of God. It cannot be, if you say, I am Desha Bhakta, I am very devotee of my country, of my society, of my family, of my cat, of my dog, that is not applicable. Bhakti is not applicable anywhere except in relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is Bhakti. Therefore, Shastra particularly says, Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu, not any other Savanam Kirtanam. If you say that I am hearing about my country's welfare, about my society's welfare, about humanity's welfare, and I am preaching this, that is not Bhakti. That is Maya. It is very difficult to understand. But if you talk about Krishna and hear about Krishna, then your other services will include. It is all pervading. Just like one is interested in the flower of the tree. If he says that I shall water the flower, because I am interested in the flower, or I shall water the fruit, but that will not help you. If you water on the fruit or on the flower because you are interested, the fruit also will dry and the flower also will dry. But if you water on the root of the tree, which carries the fruit and flower, your fruit and flower automatically will live. Similarly, if you render service to Krishna, Bhakti, then your so-called social service, country service, family service, everything will be perfect. You don't have to endeavor separately for social service or any other service. Therefore it is said, Tibrena bhakti yogena, without any division. You don't think that if I simply become devotee of Krishna and worship in the temple, then what will happen to my country, what will happen to my family, what will happen to me, so many other things. That will be automatically served. If you serve here Krishna, then you give the best service to your family, to your society. There are many instances. Just like Prahlad Maharaj was giving service to the Lord, and his father was very angry, and there was very much misunderstanding between the father and mother, and the father and the son. Ultimately, the father was killed by Nishingadev, and Prahlad Maharaj saw it. What does it mean? Superficially, it appeared that Prahlad Maharaj did wrong because his father was killed before him. Suppose if your father is killed before you, and if you stand only, if you don't speak any protest to protect the father, who will agree with your endeavor? Nobody. Everyone will say, you are such a coward that your father was killed before you, you did not protest, you did not try to give any protection. This is superficial. But actually, the son, Prahlad Maharaj, was giving the best service to his father. Best service. Because in the Shastra it is said that if a person, if a demon is killed by God, he immediately is liberated. Even though he was not liberated, thinking that he was very, very sinful, of course, he was liberated, but Prahlad Maharaj was thinking that my father was so sinful, so much against God consciousness, he might not be liberated. So, therefore, Prahlad Maharaj, when he was requested, when he was rather offered any benediction he wanted to take from Nishingadev, he refused. My dear Lord, please do not induce me in that way. I am born in a family, demonic family. To gain some material profit is my natural propensity, and you are the offerer. You are offering me. I can take anything from you. But this is not my business. Because I have rendered service to you, it does not mean that I will take some remuneration for you. This is business. Bonik, savai bonik. This is mercantile man's. But I am your eternal servant. I do not expect any reward from you. But that Prahlad Maharaj, later on, he asked Nishingadev, my dear Lord, one thing I may ask from you. What is that? Now, my father was atheist number one, and he has committed so many offences at your lotus feet. Now he is killed, so I want that he may be excused and given liberation. So, he was already liberated, still, as affectionate son, he was anxious to know whether my father is liberated or not. So, this was confirmed by the Lord, not only your father, his father's father, his father, his father, up to 14 generations, everyone is liberated. Because a Vaishnava son like you is born in this family. So, my point is, by serving the Supreme Lord, one gives the best service to the family. Because if one becomes a Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava, the whole family, up to 14 generations, they become liberated. Therefore, Tibrena bhakti yogena. We should not divert our attention for any other service. We should simply concentrate for rendering service to the Supreme Lord. This is the conclusion. Tibbena bhakti yogena mana mai arpita. Mai unto me, the Supreme Lord. Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Always thinking of Krishna. Maya. That will help. Tibrena bhakti yogena. Always. That is also advised in Bhagavad Gita. Manvana. Manvana bhavamad bhakta. Your mind should be engaged always in Krishna. Krishna or Rama, and which form you like, Vishnu form, or Lord Vishnu, Narayan, Kapil Dev, there are innumerable forms of God. Advaita Yachyuta Yanadi Ananta Rupam. So, Ram, Nrsimha, Varaha, Krishna, Kapil Dev, Balaram, there are so many forms. So any one of them, whichever you like, everyone is just like Hanuman. He liked Ramachandra forms, and Arjuna liked Krishna's form. But there is no difference between Rama and Krishna. Ramadi murtishu kala niyamena tishtan nana avatar makarat bhuvaneshu kintu. Sometimes foolish people question us that you are worshipping Krishna, why you do not worship Rama? Rama and Krishna, there is no difference. But anyone has got his liking. Just like Hanuman has liking to worship Lord Ramachandra. And the gopis have the liking to worship Krishna. That does not make any difference. It is like Jidhathamang Prapadyat. Krishna, the Lord, appears in different way. Sometimes the Krishna went away from the gopis. And the gopis were searching out Krishna. So in some place Krishna was sitting in the Vishnu form. So the gopis passed through that deity and they did not offer much respect. Oh, he is Vishnu. All right, namaskar. Because they wanted to see Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna and Vishnu. But every devotee has got some inclination. They love Krishna. Ramadi muttishu kala niyamena tishtan. So therefore Krishna is all pervading in different murtis. Therefore the Vaishnava Sampradaya, some of them they worship Radha Krishna, and some of them worship Sitaram, and some of them worship Lakshmi Narayan, some of them worship Rukmini Krishna. There are so many devotees, but all of them are the same, Vaishnava. All of them are, but not demigods. Vishnu, chanting Bhakti Yoga means to chant Vishnu. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu. And Vishnu has got so many forms. So either you chant Hare Ram or you chant Hare Krishna, it is the same. There is no difference. Sometimes they first of all place Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And sometimes they place Hare Krishna, Krishna. There is no difference. Sometimes they say, no, it should be Hare Rama first. Sometimes they know Hare Krishna. But that is not very important, childish. Either you say Hare Ram or Hare Krishna, the same. So this is to be done. Tibrena Bhakti Yoga. So Bhakti Yoga begins with hearing. Savanam Kirtanam. And if you have heard from the right source and if you are convinced, then automatically you'll try to perform Kirtan. Kirtan means glorify. If you have attained life, or to preach. Anyone who has listened from right person authority about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, about Krishna or about Rama, you'd like to preach that. That is automatic, glorifying. That preaching is required. That is called kirtan. Kirtan, simply preaching, glorifying, or speaking about the Lord, that is also kirtan. And performing kirtan as we do here in the temple with mridanga and kartal, chanting, that is also kirtan. Sukadeva Goswami explained Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And Parikshit Maharaj simply listened to him carefully. This is Savanam Kirtanam. Parikshit Maharaj is hearing, and Sukadeva Goswami is performing Kirtanam, describing all the glories of the Lord. That is Kirtan. So, Sri Vishnu, Savane Parikshit, how one devotee became liberated by performing one item only. There are 9 items of devotional service. Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasam Sakham Atma Nivedanam. So, Parikshit Maharaj simply listened. Savanam. He did not do other things. Still he was liberated. And Sukadeva Goswami, he simply chanted or described the glories of the Lord. He also became liberated. Sri Vishnu Savane Parikshit Avavad Vaya Sati Kirtan. Similarly, Savanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Prithu Maharaj, he was simply remembering, Prithu Pujan. And Pada Sevan, Lakshmi Devi, she simply gave massage to the Vishnu's lotus feet. And Arjuna, simply he made friendship. And Hanumanji, he simply served the order of Lord Ram. Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam, offering everything. Bali Maharaj, whatever he had, he gave to Bhavan, everything. Whatever he possessed, even his body, he gave to Bhavan. Sarvatma Sapane, Abhavat Bali Maharaj. So there are different examples. So, if you simply, at the present moment, in this Kali Yuga, if you simply hear about Krishna, Savanam, you don't require any education. You don't require to be PhD and MSc. God has given you the ear. You go to a person, realized soul, and hear from him. Simply hear from him. That is recommended in this age, because people are very, very fallen. They have no education, they have no inclination, how to make perfect life. They do not know what is perfection of life. They think, if I can eat sumptuously, that is perfection of life. Udaram bharita. Sartham udaram bharita. In this age, if one man can eat very voraciously, he thinks my all interests are finished. He thinks. Because people are so, hungry, that they think, if I can get a sumptuous food, that is perfection of life. This is collision. Sartham udaram bharita. That is stated in this one. One will feel that my all interest is now fulfilled because I am voraciously eating. So, we are hearing. This is one thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended this process, that whatever condition you are, it does not matter. You simply search out a devotee and hear from him. That is enough. Yoha. Sthane sthita sutigatang tanuvang manovi. Sthane sthita. Whatever you are, there is no need of change. Because it is very difficult to change position. Better remain your position, but you hear about Krishna. That is our movement. Krishna consciousness movement is to give chance people to hear about Krishna. So many ways. Then even Krishna is Ajita. Nobody can conquer him. Simply by hearing, you conquer Krishna. Krishna will be very, very intimate friend of you. Simply by hearing. That is said also in the Srimad Bhagavad. Sinnatang sapatha Krishna punnat sravana kirtana. Sinnatang. Sinnatang means hearing. Krishna is within everyone's heart. As soon as he sees that this man is hearing about me. Sinnatang sapatha Krishna. Krishna is the subject. Nominative. Sinnatang, when he sees that a person is interested in hearing, then he takes care of him. Because that is the beginning of bhakti. Sinnatang savata Krishna. Punnat savana kirtas. Even if we do not understand, the philosophy, what Krishna says, still if we hear, then he will be purified. He will purify. That is the process of Hari Sankirtan. It doesn't require anybody to understand what is this Hare Krishna. But if he simply give him the chance of hearing, he becomes purified. That is one. Because without being purified, nobody can understand what is God, what is my relationship with God, who is God, what does he do, what is his name, nothing in this. Dirty things within the heart, they cannot understand. Dirty things on account of sinful life. Namama duskitanam mudha prapaddante naranama. We are so much in this age engaged in sinful activities. The sinful activities are generally, the four pillars of sinful activities are illicit sex life, meat eating, intoxication and gambling. This whole world is now full of all this business. There is regular gambling house, there is regular intoxication centers, regular slaughterhouse and regular prostitution. This is the whole world. Which are sinful life, illicit sex life, meat eating, intoxication and gambling, that is prevalent all over the world. You will find organized by government. This is going on. And within this dangerous condition of the human society, we have to push on Krishna consciousness. How difficult it is. Just imagine. But still, it is going on. But so many obstacles. But we do not care for these obstacles. We must push on. This is our determination. Therefore it is called Tibrena Bhakti Yogi. Tibrena. There may be so many obstacles, but you must push on your movement. Tibrena Bhakti Yogi. That is our duty. Thank you very much.